The 1940s were a defining decade for the American auto industry. Marked by the disruption of World War II, civilian car production ceased between 1942 and 1945, and the post-war years saw manufacturers scrambling to update pre-war designs with modern flair. While some vehicles from this era became celebrated icons, others faded into obscurity, overshadowed by better marketing, timing, or simply bad luck. This chapter shines a spotlight on 3 American cars from the 1940s that time forgot. Models that were innovative, stylish, or ambitious, yet ultimately failed to leave a lasting mark on mainstream car culture. Dear viewers, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you for your support. Number 3. By the late 1930s, Graham Page Motors Corporation was struggling to survive. Once a respected name in the 1920s and early 30s, Graham had lost market share due to the Great Depression, declining sales, and stiff competition. In a bold and unusual move to revitalize the brand, Graham struck a deal with the assets of the recently defunct Cord Automobile Company. Cord had gone bankrupt, but its 810 and 812 models were famed for their radical design and front-wheel drive layout. Graham purchased Cord's body dies and adapted them to build a new car on a rear-wheel drive platform. The result? The Graham Hollywood, a stylish, streamlined sedan that looked years ahead of its time but hid older engineering underneath. What made the Hollywood stand out was its striking Art Deco design, which came straight from the Cord 810. Coffin nose, front end. A sleek louvered hood with no traditional grille. Hidden headlights, a Cord signature, although Graham's versions were fixed in later models. Flowing fenders and low roofline, contributing to its futuristic, almost European look. One of the most aerodynamically advanced designs of its era. Rear-wheel drive, unlike Cord's front-wheel drive, used Graham's older inline-6 engines. Standard engine, 218 cubic inches, 3.6 liters inline-6, with about 85 horsepower. Supercharged version, boosted output to around 120 horsepower. 3-speed manual transmission. Suspension and chassis were based on pre-existing Graham architecture, which meant the looks were modern, but the performance was average. It was too little, too late for Graham. Only about 1,500 Hollywoods were ever produced. The car looked futuristic, but mechanically it was dated, and poor sales couldn't sustain the company. World War II soon halted production, and Graham never returned as a passenger car maker afterward. Its Cord design roots were well known at the time, making it feel more like a recycled hit than a bold new vision. The Graham Hollywood is one of the rare cases of a car company reusing another brand's body dies to create a new model. The styling came straight from the Cord 810, one of the most iconic American cars ever designed, lending the Hollywood a unique place in design history despite its commercial failure. Today, Graham Hollywoods are highly collectible due to their rarity and Art Deco aesthetics. They're often confused with Cord 810S, but the Hollywood lacks Cord's advanced drivetrain and engineering. Restored models show up at concours and classic car auctions, often praised more for their looks than performance. Number 2, the Hudson Commodore debuted in 1941, but its most notable and advanced versions came after World War II, from 1946 through the early 1950s. It was Hudson Motor Car Company's flagship full-size model, offering luxury, style, and innovation at a time when American car makers were scrambling to restart production and modernize after the war. In the late 1940s, the Commodore was Hudson's best-selling and most luxurious offering, available in sedan, coupe, convertible, and brougham trims. But in 1951, the Hornet came along and stole the show, turning the Commodore into a historical footnote for many casual car fans. One of the most innovative aspects of the Hudson Commodore, especially from 1948 onward, was its step-down design, a true engineering first in American cars. Instead of sitting on top of the frame, the passenger compartment was integrated into the chassis, meaning occupants literally stepped down into the car. A lower center of gravity, improved handling and ride stability, a sleek, low profile, without sacrificing interior headroom. This platform made the Commodore one of the best-handling American sedans of its era and set the stage for the Hornet's racing dominance. Available with straight 6 and straight 8 engines. L-head flathead design, durable and torquey. Power ranged from 102 horsepower to around 128 horsepower, depending on the engine and year. Optional hydraulic Drive Master semi-automatic transmission. Heavy, solid construction made it a smooth cruiser, though not especially quick. Luxurious for its time, with plush interiors, chrome detailing, and two-tone paint options, available in upscale trim packages like the Commodore 8 Brougham. Wide bench seats, full instrumentation, and stylish dashboards. By the late 40s, the Commodore looked modern and substantial, though its styling wasn't quite as radical as the upcoming jet-age designs of the 1950s. Overshadowed by the Hudson Hornet, which became famous for dominating NASCAR in the early 1950s. The Commodore lacked the Hornet's performance image and racing legacy. Hudson itself merged with Nash to form AMC in 1954, and both names faded into obscurity by the 1960s. Classic car enthusiasts often overlook the Commodore in favor of flashier contemporaries like Buicks, Cadillacs, or post-war Packards. The Hudson Commodore was the first American production car to use unibody step-down construction, influencing car design for decades. It was a trailblazer in vehicle dynamics long before handling became a sales point in full-size American sedans. Commodores are now appreciated by collectors who recognize Hudson's innovative engineering. The step-down platform directly contributed to the Hornet's success in stock car racing. A Hudson Commodore was even featured in films like Driving Miss Daisy, reminding viewers of its elegant, old-school presence. Number 1. The DeSoto Custom was produced by the DeSoto division of Chrysler Corporation, and it served as the top trim model of the brand's lineup in the late 1940s, above the entry-level Deluxe. DeSoto as a brand was positioned between Dodge and Chrysler, trying to hit that sweet spot of affordable luxury. While the DeSoto Custom offered comfort, solid build quality, and advanced features, it often struggled to stand out in a crowded post-war market, especially when carmakers were still selling slightly updated pre-war designs. Post-war DeSoto Customs had rounded, bulbous bodies typical of the late 40s, with full fenders and an upright stance. The signature waterfall grille featured prominent vertical bars and lots of chrome, a DeSoto hallmark available in multiple body styles, two-door coupe, four-door sedan, convertible, and even limousines. Powered by Chrysler's reliable 236.6 cubic inches, 3.9 liters inline-6 engine, produced about 109 horsepower. Top speed, around 85 miles per hour. Not especially fast, but known for smooth, quiet operation. A signature feature of DeSoto's at the time. Not a true automatic, but a hybrid system, used a fluid coupling, not a torque converter, paired with a manual transmission. Drivers could start and stop without using the clutch in some driving conditions. Smooth and easy to use, pitched as a luxury convenience. Nicely appointed with broadcloth or leather interiors, wood grain dashboards, and lots of chrome accents. Offered heaters, radios, and optional clock or fog lights. DeSoto emphasized a quiet, cushioned ride, positioning the Custom as an upscale family car. Brand placement confusion. DeSoto sat awkwardly between Dodge and Chrysler, making it hard to carve out a distinct identity. Design conservatism. Though nicely built, the styling was relatively safe and less daring than some competitors. No performance pedigree. Unlike Chrysler's later 300s or Dodge's muscle cars, DeSoto's weren't known for speed. When DeSoto was discontinued in 1961, the entire brand quietly faded into history. The fluid drive system was an early attempt to make driving more convenient, a stepping stone between full manual and automatic transmissions. It allowed smoother starts and stops and reduced the need for clutch use, which was a big deal in the late 1940s. DeSoto Customs from this era are rare, but not overly valuable in the collector world, yet their charm lies in their 1940s styling, roomy comfort, and the quirky appeal of fluid drive. Because DeSoto was discontinued early, enthusiasts often rally around these cars as forgotten gems of the Mopar family.